Okay, we are going to be going over the SkySlope Advanced training today. We're going to be going through zip form templates, DigiSign templates, and putting those templates to use. So let's get started here. Skip over that part. Skip over that part. So what this training covers, it probably won't be 60 minutes. It'll be more like 15 to 20. But again, we are going to be going over creating form templates in zip form, creating DigiSign templates in SkySlope, which are our e-signature templates, and then creating a sample with the listing paperwork and the e-signatures using DigiSign. I do go over just one state's form using the demo. So the process will be the same. The forms may look a little bit different, obviously, depending on your area. So just keep that in mind. So first things first, we are going to start within our ZipForm account. So go to zipformplus.com, log into your ZipForm account with your ZipForm credentials. You will need to have your ZipForm account created depending on your area, so you want to make sure that's done first. And then you will log into your ZipForm account. Again, zipformplus.com. These are your ZipForm credentials. Once you're logged in, you will go to that templates tab up top. So you'll see there are a few different icons up top in that red box there. There is a templates tab. So go ahead and click on templates. And then this is our template section. This is where all of our templates will be stored once they are created in ZipForm. We are going to be creating a new ZipForm template. So in the top left, go ahead and hit new. And then this is where you'll choose what type of template you are creating. So you can choose new listing, new purchase, new lease, lease listing. You'll have these different options to choose from. In this sample, we are choosing a new listing template to create for right now. So once we choose new listing, it's going to take us to this template information tab. You enter the name of the template, so name it whatever is going to make the most sense for you. Residential listing template is what we named our demo. Then you're going to choose the property type. So this is the type of property you're creating this template for. These are the forms that are going to be required for that specific property type. So this one is going to be residential. And then you have the option to auto apply this template. So if you are only creating one template for all of your different property types, you can go ahead and just auto apply. Otherwise, you'll choose do not automatically apply if you are going to be creating a template for each specific property type. And then in the upper right, you'll just choose personal. That should be the only option that's available there. And then you'll just go ahead and hit save. So now we can start adding the forms to our ZipForm template. So the template's created, we're in the template now. Now our next step is just to start adding the forms and the PDFs to that template. Little note here is only ZipForm forms can be fillable or writable. Any PDFs that you add like internally or manually cannot be filled out within ZipForm. So you want to make sure that's done prior. Just keep that in mind. You cannot fill them out once they are in ZipForm. So in the upper left, we are going to hit add document, start adding documents to our ZipForm template. Once we hit add document, we are taken to this screen where you can browse for documents to upload from your computer. So these are the PDFs that you can upload if you choose browse for document. But we're going to go ahead and add forms to the ZipForm template. So in the upper right, just go ahead and hit add form. And you'll be taken to your ZipForm library. So in the right-hand side up top, there is a drop-down so you can choose which library you're going to be choosing from if you are in multiple. So just choose the correct library, and then down below, each form that you click on will be added to this template. So these are the actual forms that we're adding to this template so that every time you create a ZipForm transaction, these forms will be added already for you, so you don't have to manually do it each time. So just click on the ones, any of the forms that are going to be available, for instance, for this residential listing template. We'll click on those to add. You will always want to add your cover sheet if you're not using that already. If it's available to you, please start using that. That will save you a lot of time. And I'll go into kind of what that does in just a sec. So once we click on all of our forms, we can click add document again and upload any of those PDFs that you want to add. Again, remember you'll want those filled out prior to adding them to ZipForm because they cannot be filled out once they are here. So only ZipForm forms can, so just keep that in mind. And then now you'll see those ZipForm forms are up top, our PDFs are added down below. And then once we've added all of those different forms, you'll open up that cover sheet. So cover sheet form is what we're clicking on first. And then you'll just scroll through this cover sheet and complete the fields you need each time you use the template. So You're not wanting to add any property specific information to this one, nothing specific to an actual listing or transaction. You're only adding information that is going to remain the same on every single property that you create. So every listing that you create for this residential listing template, you'll want to only add information that's going to stay the same. So you can add your brokerage information, you can add your information as the agent, maybe you have an agent ID, your first and last name, address, brokerage address, anything like that you can add, anything that's not going to change. Anything that will change property to property, you will not want to fill out here. Then you'll go ahead and click Save in the upper left, and then go back to look at the forms. And then you can open up each form to be sure that that cover sheet copied over. So what the cover sheet does, if you fill that in, it will copy all of that information into the other forms. So you don't have to fill out each form manually. The cover sheet will fill that information over for you. Again, keep in mind this will not copy over to any of the PDFs, so have those filled out prior. So if we open up one of the forms, you can see that information's copied over. So up top, you'll see that agent name is populated, the brokerage name, address, we added that stuff in there. Client details remain blank until the template is actually applied to a property. So we'll get into that a little bit later, the actual property specific information. So from here, we're going to actually go into DigiSign and create our DigiSign or e-signature templates. So in your SkySlope account, once you're logged in here, you'll click on that DigiSign icon in the upper right-hand side. And then once you're in this section, you'll click on the Templates tab up top. So you have a couple different tabs here: Drafts, Sent, Completed, and Templates. If you go into the Templates tab, you'll see all of your templates that you have created already, any that are shared with you. These are all of the ones that you can access. And we're going to create a DigiSign template right now. So in the upper right, go ahead and click on New Template. And then similar to creating that zip form template, you're taken to the first initial page where you just enter the first initial information. So name the template. This one is going to be our dual agency consent. And then you can add in a description as well. So you can, if that helps just to know what template you're creating when you need to apply it, you can add a description, but that is optional. And then you're going to upload a blank copy of the document down below there. So you can click on upload. You can also drag and drop into that section. You can reorder PDFs if you upload more than one using those 3 lines. However, I would recommend just creating a DigiSign template per form rather than creating one for an entire packet of documents. You will want to create maybe like a listing agreement template and then a dual agency template rather than doing it all together, because when you do send these documents out, normally you upload the forms separately rather than all together. So you want the template to match that. So form by form is the recommended option. On the right-hand side, you can type in a subject line and an email message, which will just, if you have like a standard message that you want sent out every time you send this, you can add those in there. Otherwise, you'll add that manually when you do send it actually out. And then down below, we are creating our signature roles for the type of people who will actually sign this form. So clicking on New Role in the bottom right-hand side, and then you will be able to choose the different roles that will actually be signing this document. So you have different options here in the drop-down: seller, purchaser, attorney, agent on the other side, yourself, anything like that you'll want to add to this form. And then you can say if you need to sign or if you just need to receive a copy. So this is what it'll look like once you add all of those different roles. So we have our seller 1, our seller 2, and in our signer group number 2, you have yourself, and then who only needs a copy of the signed document, you only have just an other contact in there. So this is where you can also create signer groups. As you can see, we have who signs first, who signs second. You can add as many as you need to there. And then you'll just want to add every role that can sign this document. So if you send this out and there's only one seller, that's fine. You can remove that second seller, but you will want to add 2 to the template just in the case that there are 2 of them. Then you'll hit next in the upper right and you're actually taken to the document. So here is where you'll add your signature, initial fields, all of that good stuff to the document. So up top, you'll see that toolbar. You have signatures, initials, dates, all of that different stuff you can add to the document. So you just click on the document where you need it to go, add all of these fields here. Down below is where you can choose who will actually be signing that specific area. So you have that drop down there. You can see it says who signs here. So you're just adding these different fields in here, seller, landlord 1, 2, adding yourself in there, and then you'll go ahead and save it in the upper right-hand side. And then you are taken back to that templates tab and your DigiSign template is ready. So you continue to create those templates as needed, and then we're gonna put those templates to use. I will say getting these zip form templates and these DigiSign templates set up initially, it'll take you some time, but in the long run, it'll save you a lot of time. So you only need to create these templates once in both zip form and in DigiSign, and then we can actually put them to use and start going. So we're gonna do that now, and I'm gonna jump back into my zip form account. So back in my zip form account, we're logged in here. We're going to go into our transactions tab. So up top, you'll see again, before we were in templates, now we're in transactions, and we're going to create a new listing paperwork using our template that we created earlier. So click on the transactions tab. We're going to click on new. Keep in mind also, listing, sales, rentals, everything is considered a transaction in zip form, depending on the property type. Creating a transaction in zip form does not create a file in SkySlope. So you'll still have to do that in SkySlope. There's not a lot of information that is normally required on the different transaction. So we're just gonna click new in the upper left-hand side. And then similar to when we created a template, you're choosing the property type. We're gonna choose new listing on this one. And then you're going to type in the actual transaction name. So different than the template, this is actually property specific. So the name, you can put the address, you can put the client name, whatever is going to make the most sense. Property type, we're choosing residential for our sample. And then the template is down below that we can select. So we created that residential listing template. We're going to choose that one. And then down at the bottom, there will be a save button, and you click on save. And then you'll be taken into that transaction so you can add the different information. But we're going to hop into our documents tab up top. So you'll see there's summary, parties, and then documents. And you'll see those forms are already added for us. So that's what the template is doing. We don't have to remember which forms are required for every different property type. Once we have those templates created, it's going to be done for us, so we don't have to remember it each time. So those documents are added for us. We're going to open up that cover sheet, and now we can add actual property specific information. So sellers' names, addresses, anything specific to this new listing. So open up that cover sheet, and again, it'll copy all of that information into the other forms. Then you're going to go ahead and download these documents or email them into SkySlope, whatever is going to be the easiest for you. And then we're going to go back to SkySlope and send them out for signature. So now I'm in SkySlope again. You'll see it says simply just download your completed forms from zip form, and then you can click on DigiSign and we can upload them into DigiSign. So clicking on DigiSign again, clicking on new envelope, it's this green button once you first go in there, and then you're taken to this screen. If you have your SkySlope property already created, it would show down below, and you can select that property. For this specific example, obviously we're sending out a new listing, so we don't have that created yet, so we're choosing no property in the upper right-hand side. Next screen, this is where you can either choose upload those forms that we downloaded from zip form. We can also drag and drop them into this section, whatever is going to be easiest for you again. So just have those forms uploaded on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side is where we're going to be reordering documents if you need to. You can just grab those 3 lines, move them around to what order you want to send them in. And then this is where we're applying our DigiSign templates. So you just choose template over, it's that blue button on the right-hand side, and we'll apply that template that we created earlier. So I'm clicking choose template. And then you're taken to this screen. This is where we can see that dual agency consent template we created earlier. This is where that description will come in handy. If you added that in the template, you can see what the template actually is. You click apply to apply that template to this document, and then click done down at the bottom. And then you'll see it changes from choose template to remove template. So that's how you'll know it's applied. You'll continue applying the templates to the different forms. This is, again, where it comes in that we created templates per form rather than per packet. Right now, we're applying the templates per form. So you'll just continue adding those templates and then click next in the upper right. add our contacts, names, emails on the left-hand side, add that information for each contact on the left. And then on the right-hand side is where our signing order is. So we have our sellers are signing first, I'm signing second, and then down below, Jane, admin, is just receiving a copy of that signed document. Go ahead and hit next in the upper right. And then scroll through that paperwork, just make sure all of those fields are already there. This is where the DigiSign template comes in handy. You don't have to set this up each time. Those signature, initial, date boxes will already be added. After applying that DigiSign template, when you're finished, everything looks good. Just go ahead and hit send in the upper right-hand side. Then you can type that subject and that message and actually send this document out for signature. So that is everything. Again, just to recap, we created zip form templates. These are the forms that are going to be needed for each property type. This is where we can fill them out. You don't have to remember which form or which forms are needed for each property. Once you create those zip form templates one time, it's going to save you a lot of time going forward, not having to remember the packet of forms that are needed. Then we created our DigiSign templates, which are e-signature templates. Those are applying all of our signature, initial, date boxes for us so that every time we send out a document, we don't have to set that up again. Again, it'll take you some time at the beginning, but you only have to create those once. You can share them with anybody on your team as well so they can use the same DigiSign templates as you. Only one of you have to create them. And then going forward, you don't have to set up those DigiSign boxes again. And then we actually went through the process of doing that. So feel free to reference this when needed. If you have any questions, remember SkySlope support team is here 24/7, 365 days a year. So if you ever need any help, they can help you with this. Feel free to chat them, call them, email them, and they will be able to assist. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.